Hopefully, this will be a lesson we can look back on, and I'll get some value today to everybody. Because I've been thinking about this a lot, and it's like, let's max out our compensation. Does that make sense? If there's a compensation system, let's max it out and let's simplify to multiply. Let's get the most people to understand this, especially new people. And you must be able to communicate this to new people, okay? Because this is huge. And what I did was I asked if, and I don't know how much, a little bit of role play, but just I'm going to go through this. But if I asked Chrissy and I asked Destiny to kind of help out because they're both in this situation where this is going to benefit them tremendously. Because Chrissy's new, she's getting licensed very quickly, I understand, which is awesome. And so, but getting her to district is everything. And we want to max the comp, which means maximizing the bonuses, which helps Destiny because Destiny brought her into the business. And anytime you sponsor somebody, bring somebody into the business, you want them to go district to help you go district or division or regional because to go to the next level, you have to help somebody get promoted. Okay. Wherever you are. I don't know where a lot of you are. I don't know if you're districts. I don't know if you're senior reps or reps, but there is an overwhelming reason why you want to follow this and understand this. And I am going to pull up my AkioCam, although it disappeared with Michelle's video. So let's close that. And it is here. So understanding why we want to max the compensation out. Okay. So, Chrissy, can you hear me and Destiny?
Yes, we're here. We can hear you.
Awesome. Okay. So the objective, producing district leaders. It's the cornerstone of the business. And by the way, as a district leader, that's a 50% contract. Okay. RVPs get 100% contract, 110 plus bonuses. So everybody would like to be an RVP, but before you're an RVP, you got to learn the basics. You got to get licensed. You got to be a student. Student, get licensed, learn the system. So producing district leaders is key. Why? You're getting halfway to the highest contract you can get to, which is 110%. There's two ways to go about this business, and a lot of people will go about this business thinking that option A is the way to go. And option A is I'm going to get licensed as fast as I can, then I'm going to learn the business, okay? And then to do that, you to get your promotion at that point, you've got to do what's called 3 recruits and 3,000, and it must be done in a calendar month. And the company's got this thing called qualified leader, and all there's all kinds of things that incent that. But 3 by 3,000 in the calendar month after licensed. So that's not easy to do because, and what you have to do that, that's 3 recruits, 3,000, all got to be done in that calendar month. But let's talk about the maxing comp and the economic reason why option B is way more attractive than option A. But option B does get some resistance. Option B, fast track to district in your first 60 days. You got 2 months. If you do it in the first 2 months, I'm going to tell you why everything is lined up for you to win and go district if you do this properly. And this is super easy if you follow this system this morning. So, what happens here? If you become a licensed rep and you do not get promoted, you come in at a 25% contract. That's our lowest contract there is. At 110% as an RVP, it's the biggest spread, meaning it's the biggest differential, 25% to 110%. I'd love everybody to, be happy with 25%, but I know I wasn't when I came in the business. I was like, shit, I don't want this 25, I want 50. I want half of the annual premium if I'm going to go write premium. Because if I don't, 85% goes to the RVP. Okay, and that's an override position. That's great, but I'm an RVP and I'm going to tell you how to shrink that. I'm going to tell you how to get more for yourself, which means that's not for my benefit, it's for the new person's benefit. So you get licensed and you're at a 25% contract. Let's, for example purposes, say that you take a life application that's $1,000 in annual premium. The simple math on that is $83 a month. And $83 a month times 12 months is the math that gets you to 1,000. Now, there's a lot of people that write $50 and $60 apps. Totally fine, but just means you need to write more than one to get to the thousands. Okay. That's the basics of the AP. We're going to use that for simplicity purposes. Does that make sense, Chrissy? $1,000 AP? Destiny?
Yes, that makes sense.
Makes sense. So $83 a month, client pays that for their life insurance, 12 months, $1,000. If you're a licensed rep and you're a new licensed rep, you're at a 25% contract. If you can figure out how to write that with no help, explain to the client how it works, write it up. If you can, you'll get a 25% contract. You get 25% of the thousand, you'll make 250. But more often than not, you're not going to be that good and be able to do that without some assistance. Explaining the medical process, explaining background checks, explaining everything, and even just taking the daggum application properly, you're going to want somebody to help you out. And if you want to get another agent to help you, you're talking about splitting that, and that means 50-50. It's the only way you can split an application. So then what that means is if you're pulling another rep in, you're only going to make $125. So you did the work to bring in 1,000 in premium, and as a rep, your 25% contract's only going to pay you 125 bucks. I promise you, you're not going to be super excited about that. And then the 125, if you don't know what you're doing and the client could sense that and they followed through and maybe they didn't take the application at the end, or for whatever reason they were declined because you didn't do the proper process of getting them underwritten, that 125 can go away in what's called a Charlie Brown or a chargeback. And that's pretty disappointing. If you do all this work after you got licensed and you take an application, you get an advance of $125, and then they tell you you owe it, you got to pay it back. Chrissy or Destiny, would you both agree that would not be much fun?
I've already
No.
a fair share.
That would suck.
Mhm.
Yeah. So here's what we do to avoid that. And by the way, you have to write 3,000 in a calendar month to get to a district leader contract. You waited, you chose option A thinking, well, I'm going to wait. I don't want to run appointments right now. I want to wait and see because I want to get paid, because that gets in people's head and it screws them up. It messes them up because they're thinking, oh, I got to get paid. I got to get paid. If they followed our system and said, look, hold on a minute. Let's fast track you to district. Okay. That means you're not going to write up your first 3,000 in annual premium. You're not going to write it up. You're just going to put your representative, your trainer, in front of people so they can show you how to explain the business, how to take an application, how to manage an advance, okay? Because this money that comes in, these are called advances, and advances can be taken back, okay? And our industry works that way across the board. There's lots of people coming in our industry and they're out and they have chargebacks and they quit the business. They got excited by the money, but then they didn't follow a system, and then they're quitting because they get chargebacks, they get negative balances, they get these advances, they go spend the money, and then they don't have the money when the company says you owe us the money, or they don't know how to get more clients because they weren't with a representative getting trained doing this option B. They were just venturing out on their own. Okay. So this is a much more difficult process and the compensation is not very good. Okay. Let's show you a much better system. Fair enough?
Absolutely.
Okay. Option B is just saying, hey, let's fast track you to district. And here's how you fast track to district. In your first 60 days, you're going to be thinking about three things to do. One of the things you're going to do is you're going to want to show up to training. You show up to training, why? Because you got to learn a lot of things about advances, about insurance, about explaining the concepts, buy term invest, the difference. You want to create maybe some friends, some people you can call occasionally and say, hey, you know what, I'm going through the licensing process. So you show up, you become part of the environment. If you're not part of the environment, you don't become like the people you hang around. You know, you become like you stay like the other people. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, I remember as a kid, I got in trouble smoking out in the smoking pit in high school back when we had smoking pits in North Carolina. Can you believe I'm that old? Kids would go outside and smoke cigarettes. I'd go out there and hang out and occasionally bum a cigarette. I got in a lot of trouble for that because my mom said if you hang out with the smokers, you become a smoker. Duh. So I learned, and I was like, okay, I didn't stick with that very long, but I did that for a while. If you stick around with people that are thinking about building a business, protecting families, insuring families, building a legacy, you become like those people. So number one, you show up. Show up to what? Couple Zooms a week. It's not talking about multiple hours. You can show up as many as you want, but I just tell people, can you show up to 2 hours a week? Show up to an hour on a Saturday and an hour on a Tuesday. If you want more, you can do more. The second thing you want to do is you want to get your license. You certainly want to do that in your first 60 days. Why? Because there's going to be a bonus that's going to be paid out if you do it properly. We're going to talk about that in a second. But you want to get licensed, finish the class in the first 60 days. And so really the technicality is finish the class in the first 60. The get licensed, they give you 90. So that's 60 and 90. In the state of Maryland, they don't require you to finish the class to take the test, but they still require you to finish the class to get this credit for the first 60 days. A little nuance of the bonus. So, and you finish the class online or you go to a weekend class in Maryland. And the third thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to field train. This is the most important part of the three, but they're all very important. Field train. And then the field training process in 60 days, you really want to get on between 10 and 15, maybe 20 appointments. This is the secret. This is the thing that a lot of people fight. This is the thing that a lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to wait and worry about my marketing later. I'm going to worry about building my business later. I don't want to give up any transactions. I'm worried that if Destiny writes them, I won't get paid. Or if Jeff writes them, I won't get paid. That was my trainer years ago. So the first 60 days, first 90 days, show up a couple hours a week, get your licenses behind the scenes, study, go to the class, and then field train 10 to 15 appointments. What's going to happen on these 10 to 15 appointments? I know for a fact, I can give you with almost 99.9% accuracy that anybody in our business that does this, the 10 to 15 appointments is the most important part of that process. Okay. Here's why. Because it's going to show you how to fast track to district. And how do you do it? Well, we're going to give, that back in the district leader to get that, you got to do 3 by 3,001 calendar month. Well, what we allow people to do is fast tracking to district is we're allowing them 60 days. So they got in their first 60 days, they've got to do that same thing that they would have to do after the license. They've got to do that here. And what I would say is anybody in our business, if you, once you're licensed to, they shouldn't even be writing business then. On our team, I would suggest none of them should be writing business even after their license. They should forego all of that and just their trainer should be writing it. Why? Because it's of advances and there's chargebacks and you don't want to take that risk. So if you just follow this and say, hey, I'm going to go fast track district, all I got to do is get on 10 to 15 appointments. That's a couple a week. Fast track to district, my trainer will find for me 3 people working together and we will find 3,000 in production. And that's 3 people just to try. 3 people to say, hey, I'm in. And this month, it's crazy because there's game changer opportunities. It's only $49 to start your own business that pays people millions. I
Mhm.
looked at Michelle's year-to-date income. It's 225,000. She was a school teacher. Halfway through the year, she's going to make 450 at a minimum. I think she's better off here than she was as a school teacher. I don't know, just a thought. But so 3 by 3,000, uh, it is going to come from this activity. I can guarantee that. Why? Because the average household is underprotected, has no coverage, has very little coverage, and the need is high. Okay? The need is very high. When you do this, what the company does is for every 1 by 1,000, here's what's going to happen. You and your trainer go out and get this done. You get somebody to say yes, can be a different person than the person that gets the coverage, but you get that on the computer 1 by 1,000. What's going to happen is they're going to pay a bonus, they're going to bank it, and they're going to put it in the bank for $200. That's for the new rep. Okay, that's for the unlicensed rep. The unlicensed person is going to make money, and that money doesn't get charged back. Even if later on this policy doesn't stay in force for whatever reason, because company, hey, I can tell you, every company in America that deals with insurance, they have people that stop paying them. They have people that lose jobs, people that change banks. It just happens. So, in the event this is not being followed up with, the agent could get a chargeback in the first 12 months, but not the unlicensed person. The unlicensed person gets their $200 and never has to worry about that. That's already more than the split transaction that we talked about earlier was 125. So you're making more, significantly more, almost double by just doing it this way. The other thing that's going to happen is most organizations, they're going to promote you to a senior rep. You do 1 by 1,000. Okay. You get a little promotion. That's a 35% contract. That's a boost. So you just bumped your contract up just by doing 1 by 1,000. Okay. 3 by 3, you continue that on, and that's it. If you do that, there's a $600 bonus because it's just times three. So every time you do 1 by 1, you get 200. So times three. So you got $600 here. Now that doesn't have a cap. There are records in our company of people paid 4,000 bucks. Why? They ran a ton of appointments and maybe they didn't get licensed in the time they wanted to get licensed in. Maybe they had a problem. Maybe they failed the test. But they weren't discouraged because they had recruited 10, 15, 20 people. They had people coming up in their organization. They're excited. They're fired up. Because I know this much, Christy, if you were on here today and I had you and we had you with 5 new reps on here with you, you'd be more excited. No
Mhm.
question. So it's about building, getting more, finding, identifying people, but 3 by 3,600 is the minimum that everybody wants to be thinking about. If you do that in your first 60 days, you're going to get the district leader contract, which is way more important than the bonus. But any bonus that they provide or pay, $600 in this case, they'll add things on top of it because everybody signs up and then they see that $50 immediately you get a bonus credit. Well,
Mhm.
that is only good if you do a combination of 1 by 1,000. If you don't do any of this stuff, cross that off. You can scratch it. It ain't yours. The company, I think even now says if you'll get another 50 if you finish the class in the first month, right? Or first month or two, something like that. They've changed that up. So that's great. But that also, you can cross that out if you don't get the 1 by 1,000. These only come if you get 1 by 1,000 minimum. But what everybody wants to be focused on is this. Now, here's a couple reasons why you want to do it this way. Everybody comes in and they're excited about being a broker more than they are an agent. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Everybody's more excited about having a team of 50 licensed agents than they are being a licensed agent. Is that true?
Yes.
Everybody. That's the dream. But you get discouraged if you don't start seeing things quickly in our business. So people start giving up. They start losing vision of that. So before you can become a broker, you need to become a field trainer. And before you can become a field trainer, you got to have a track record to run people on. And if you're a field trainer and everybody comes in your business and says, I get it, I'll run 10 to 15 appointments, you've solved a major problem that a lot of companies haven't figured out. And that's how the field trainer identifies more market. It's a way to grow your market, it's a way to advertise your business because you're helping others launch their business by running appointments and serving clients. It solves a major problem in the business. And so you want to see yourself here before you're the broker, you got to say, hey, I got to become a field trainer. So I got to get my license. I got to understand some basics and I got to field train. And then once I field train my 10 to 15 appointments, and then everybody that comes in, they're going to do what I do. If you don't do that and you do this, which a lot of our agents even let people do, they just let them fall into the option A and say, hey, well, show up, please show up. And they don't ever encourage the show up as much as they should. They just talk about getting licensed. That's one of the 3 things the person needs to do, and they don't field train. Usually don't know, we don't know where to find them. They end up in witness protection after about 60 to 90 days.
Mhm.
Um, and I hate that. I hate people not being with us for the long term. I love building relationships and getting to know people. And heck, I want to work with people for 10, 15, 20, 30 years because I'm helping them build their business. Those are the best relationships you can have. And we don't want people visiting, we want people sticking around. So, because of that, we know how important this whole field training process is. It's where you build friendships, it's where you build camaraderie, it's where you start realizing you've got friends out there that maybe aren't as close as you thought because they wouldn't help you out. And you're like, Dag, I thought they were a good friend. And you find out, man, that person's kind of a fake friend. They won't even listen to me. So and that's, hey, it happens. I found out there were people that I worked with because I worked as a district manager, had no real warm market, but I was talking to some of those people. I thought they were friends, and I found out after I quit, some of them weren't really friends. They were just they we associated. But I did have friends enough that I got my district in a weekend. I did it in one weekend. I was like, I got to get it done, and I did it on a Friday, Saturday. I can't believe I did it that quickly, but it just happened. I had a situation where we had two couples that were in a in-person kitchen table on a Friday night, Chrissy, two couples. So there were four of them and my trainer and me. So there were six of us sitting in a house. And what happened, Chrissy, was the Jeff did the presentation. These two couples, none of them had life insurance. They both had kids. And we ended up writing three policies that night. And we
Hmm.
recruited three of them that night. And I was like, one night, it was done. And I'm freaking out about it. I'm thinking, oh my God, it's never going to happen. And I had a bunch of bad appointments, but I kept running appointments. And then all of a sudden, the breakthrough happened because I was so focused on getting my trainer in front of other people. And then I couldn't believe it. It was all done. And I was so excited Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that whole next week. But, they didn't stay with me. But I got my promotion. They quit. I don't care. I know one of them, and one of them's a client today. The rest of them, marriages blew up, families blew up. That's not my fault. But they blew their stuff up. But I didn't. And now they're mad at me. They're a little jealous of me. They won't take my phone call because I didn't quit. I kept going. I had one of them say, "I know you're so far up." I was like, "That's not true. If you want to come back now, I'd bring you back and I'd teach you." But they were just kind of calling my bluff. But 3 by 3,000 is the key. And so this bonus that gets paid out, $600, $700, is going to be way more money than you would get if you went the alternative way and said, hey, well, let me just do it and let me wait till later. And it's going to be much harder for you to get your district leader promotion because you're going to need always going to have multiple people with you. Over here, if you follow this path, I promise you this, as a district leader, as a new district leader, if you only saw three applications, maybe four applications, you're much better off. If you went through the underwriting process with Destiny, Destiny's the licensed agent. If Destiny's doing it, if Destiny doesn't know something, she picks up the phone and calls Ellis and me. She's got networks. She knows where to go. She knows the office manager well. She just because, she's been around longer. So she's got those relationships from showing up that can help her with every step of the process and turn around and make sure Chrissy gets everything that she needs to know. We've got a company called Enoa that sometimes has to pull medical records, and we got to let the client know. We got to let the client know they're going to have a medical appointment at a certain time, depending on the amount of coverage they have. We got to let the client know if there's a COD or a cash on delivery application or how that works, or if we take the money, because sometimes you don't want to take the money. Okay. There's so many little things to get into the beautiful part of our money making business because once you're a new district and you've watched it, you can say, okay, I get it. I know how to take an app. And that first application is always a little bulky and always hard, but it's less hard because you've watched Destiny do it. You've watched another person do it. And you stop her in the process. And you, as the field trainee, say, wait a minute, hold on, explain that again. I want to get that down because that's part of the whole field training process. That's the most important, the crux to the business. Now, you get all these new district leaders as a broker. So a broker, let's jump ahead, and now you're the broker. Well, the broker is incented for getting new districts. One of the biggest incentives they get is called an equity position that they get. Not only do they get an override, but they get equity. They get stock options. Employees, it's not employee stock options, but we get stock options. And how we get them is if we promote a district leader, the district leader promotion would give the RVP $250 in stock. Now, I don't know about you, but I like extra compensation. I like to get overrides. I like to get stocks. Stocks not charge backable. So we don't get a charge back on the stock. We buy equities and we didn't have to buy it with our money. The company did it with our own money. So they just raised the contract again. So not only is the RVP at 110% plus potential bonuses, but now there's also equity positions. So now put yourself in that broker position. Chrissy, you're the new district leader. 60 days, you did 3 by 3,000. No, wait a second, Chrissy, you're the broker. You're making a couple hundred K a year. I'm new in your business. I come in, I go to district in the first 60 days. I do my 3 by 3,000. Destiny writes it all. I didn't write it. I just watched all of it. Destiny's getting paid, but I understand I'm going to get a bonus. And that bonus was more than if I waited. So if I get a $650 bonus, $750 bonus, and then along the way, Destiny might give me an auto insurance. Destiny, because somebody needed auto insurance and I was licensed. Destiny might say, "Hey, this person needs legal protection, and here's how you do it." And I get the legal protection. I can make $100 there. I can make $200 on auto insurance. So if I'm working, I'm going to make some money in the areas that I was not, I could be licensed in. Destiny gave me those because Destiny was getting her compensation. But Chrissy, you're the broker and you're watching me doing this stuff and you're watching me run appointments and you might have to coach me a little bit because I'm disappointed. My brother left the Zoom and told me he wasn't getting life insurance. And my brother-in-law walked away. He left the house. He didn't want to be there. My father-in-law left the table during a presentation, didn't come back. So you helped me with that. And this happened to me.
Mm.
So you help me just walk through it and say, "Hey, Gordon, just keep going, brother. It's okay. They might come back to you. My parents did. My brother did. My sister did. I remember that. You help me because you're seasoned." And I go, "Okay, thanks, Chrissy. Wow, thanks for telling me it's not going to be terrible. I'm about to quit." And Chrissy, you get an additional equity bonus. You get equity of 250. You're making, let's say, you make 1,500 bucks plus some equity. Watching me and helping me stay mentally right, you might say, "Hey, Gordon, you know what? You got district leader. We're going to get you one of these beautiful plaques, wooden plaques. You've earned it. I don't have it. I was meant to get it off the wall, but I needed a ladder to show you. And I'm going to buy it for you. And I'm also going to provide a nice lunch for you. And we're going to go out and I'm going to do it. No, you are going to do it for me. I'm sorry. I forget the position. You're my broker. So you're going to buy me lunch. You're going to say, hey, probably because you're thinking, hey, we got a new superstar. I want to build a relationship with them and I'll spend money with them. I'm buying them lunch. Heck, we're going to go out to happy hour even. We might go out, we're going to have some fun."
Right.
You would do that for somebody if they're coming into the system, following the system. You're winning, they're winning, Destiny's winning, and you'd say, "Hey, let's all three of us go out. Hey, Destiny, let's grab you, grab your new person, Gordon, let's all go grab lunch." Why? Because you were the broker. You watched it. You coached the ideology, coached the thinking process, coached the people away from, what happens with underwriting life insurance is a little messy. It's not like this. You just take the app, it's done. No, no, no. It's not like buying something off the shelf. Their health comes into play. Their age comes into play. Another company comes into play to try to tell them they shouldn't be buying term insurance. You're renting, not. So there's a lot of pieces to that's happening. And you don't even, as a new person, if you don't run those appointments, you'll never see any of it. You'll never get the experience. So you're getting so much knowledge and experience. So option A, get licensed, do what you want to do, and then write business after you're licensed because I want to get paid. And I'm not damning anybody here that did it that way. That's okay. Wherever you are, wherever you are. I'm not judging. If you didn't do it that way, sorry about my language. If you didn't do it that way, that's okay. You can recover from that if you're still showing up. But what we're having is most people don't keep showing up if they do it that way. They disappear. They're with us for a week or two. Like Matt said earlier, guy's probably going to be gone at the beginning of the meeting if they don't run appointments, if they don't get field trained. The overwhelming majority will be gone. The majority will stay if they run 10 to 15 appointments because they'll be locked in. They'll be excited. They'll see what we do. They'll have bonus money. The trainer will have been paid. The broker will have been paid. The system will have been working properly. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Option A, option B. And then when you run option B, then you just teach it and you just run it. If that's what we've got to be doing all the time. First 60 days, run option B, man. Get it going. Do those three things. Show up to 2 meetings a week, get your license, and get field trained. Run those appointments with Shonda. Run those appointments with Denise. Run those appointments with Ellen. Run those appointments with Beth. Run them. And we can't be thinking, oh, I don't want to push people. No, you must get people moving. If they say, yes, I'm in, you got to get them on appointments. That's our job. Okay. Um,
Good. And I think the one good point what you just made, the people who go with the option B, over the years, what I've seen, they build more confidence. They become a lot more competent.
oh, no question. There's no way to build confidence in
It's in the field training. If you go on a 10, 15 appointment, I think you got 1 year worth of education
No question.
in
Yeah.
15 hours versus waiting a whole year trying to figure it out.
You get no question. You're going to get F&A figured out. You're going to spend
You
time
will
with
have so many things answered. And that is the one big secret I think our team, our system has. And that's a beautiful system to plug in. Yeah.
We got to run it that way. And it's like imagine this, Tony. And last thing, we got to give Deepak the time. And Deepak,
Yeah.
if you run long, it's fine. But imagine this, Tony. You and I are servers at a restaurant, or maybe you're a server at a restaurant, and I come in and the boss hires me, right? So I come in and I say, and the boss says, "Good luck," and then and Tony, you're a server. You would be so pissed off because now you got an untrained server next to you, and I'd be like, "Tony, I got a question for you. Tony, I got a question for you. Tony, I got a question for you. Tony, I got a question for you." You would be like, that's insane. I'm going to quit this job. The owner sucks because the owner didn't partner the person with Tony and have other people serving tables. The owner just thought this untrained person could wait and serve tables. Oh, I don't even know the menu. Oh, I don't even know where the bartender is. Oh, I don't even know if we have that drink. Oh, I don't know if we have that food. You would be a fool. And all you got to do is wait. Restaurants have done this for years. They partner the untrained person with the trained person, and then they
Yep.
follow them. Have you ever seen somebody following somebody around at the table? You're like, this is my trainee. We got the same process. It's called field training. They don't let you bring cheeseburgers without some field training. So they certainly shouldn't be letting people buy life insurance without somebody that can't even got it. So if they don't let you serve a cheeseburger, we shouldn't let you get licensed and do the process A. Everybody's got to do B. Fair? Okay. Deepak
Can I
Shah.
just say one thing before you
Yeah.
transition over? I was just going to say I think the biggest thing is really doing it in a short period of time. You want to get that, just like you said, I did 8 appointments in a weekend. I remember I was pretty much finished my field training in one weekend because I did not want to spread it out. Who wants to take 3 weeks doing one appointment here, one appointment there? What it takes too much time. I wanted to get it over with. And I'm one of those people, like, I hate when people, you know, baby step me. Like, can you just hurry up with this so I can hurry up and get it over with, right?
Rip
So
the
if
Band-Aid
you're
off.
one of those people, then I would recommend that you do your field training in a short period of time. Block out 2 or 3 evenings and just knock it out instead of dragging it out. And when you drag it out, you forget stuff in between.
Yeah.
Just like kids, right? They have all summer, they forget what they learned. Well, you forgot what you learned 2 weeks ago. Your last appointment was 2 weeks ago. Now you got a whole another relearning process. So the key is doing the field training, but also condensing it into a short time frame, not dragging it out.
Most people, they did a
That's
survey in the company, and most of the RVPs in the company that have the ring, make 6 figures and above, fast tracked. So, and once again, if you didn't fast track and you're licensed, don't take that as like I'm saying you were bad. Don't take that. Just know the system is better doing it the other way. You're awesome for still being here if you did it that way because most don't make it. Okay? If you didn't do it that way, don't take that and say Gordon's being mean and I didn't get it done that. No, 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 no. Please don't take that message. If you're not the district, then let's go get you to district, okay? But just know that makes the system better and faster and easier. And Shonda's right. If you can get it done in a week, do it in a week. I don't mean mine. Yeah, anyway. Deepak Shah.
Can I ask? Oh, I was gonna say,
What's that, Beth?
I was just curious to see because I have to really work on my approach with new people for sure. But Shonda, what inspired you to do it? Like how was that presented? Because I'm one of those people, I'm not good at putting pressure on people, and I need to help them understand this really well. What inspired you to do so many in a short period of time? How was it presented to you?
Actually, it wasn't presented to me that way. It was me. It was just I was doing too many other things. I was in grad school.
Okay,
I was a teacher full time. I worked other jobs. So to try to figure out how I'm gonna fit in all of this dragged out field training was just
okay,
too much for my schedule. So what I did was I said, okay, I know I need to get this done. Let me just clear a weekend. Instead of me
okay.
trying to say, oh, Monday night, oh, I got to study for exam. Tuesday night, I mean, I didn't want to do that. I knew I had to get it done. So what I did was I cleared the weekend, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, and then everyone that I called and scheduled appointments for, I tried to put them in that weekend. And we
Okay.
just kind of rocked it out all weekend long. So I think that one of the things I always heard was that it's great to hire busy people because busy people get things done. You don't want to hire somebody
Sure,
that has all this time because then they want to drag their feet with everything, right? You want to hire somebody that has stuff going on so that they can have a sense
sure.
of urgency to get it done.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for the question, Beth. And I want to make one more comment. I know there's a lot to unpack here, and maybe I don't want to, maybe we don't want to shortcut Deepak today. Maybe we give Deepak more time another day. But um,
Gordon, I
yeah,
was thinking let me share on Tuesday. I think
okay,
take care of this subject. It is very important.
okay, fair enough. Appreciate you,
You
Deepak. Thanks for
you
being that
okay?
flexible. Thanks for being flexible.
No, that's good. You know.
Um, I was talking to Destiny, and this is Chrissy and Destiny, and they're best buds. And the whole thing here is I want to see them succeed. I want to see them become vice presidents. I don't know if they're in a position to become vice presidents. That means leave their jobs or, and go in and become a full-time vice president. But that's what I want that more than anything. But you can't do it like I can't just say, hey, you're a vice president, you're a vice president. That would be a nightmare because the expenses go up. They don't know what they're doing. They've got to learn, and they need a team to be a broker. So Destiny is building. So Destiny is a senior rep. Chris is a rep. So this is a way that Destiny could be a division within a month. Do you understand that? Because Chrissy could go district, get her fast track district in the month of July. Let's say she gets it done in the next 2 weeks. And then what happens is Destiny goes district first, but she's already licensed. So Chrissy would be licensed or not licensed yet, but would have already gotten her contract. She would be a district contract in person, but not licensed. So she's going to get licensed. So then the following month, Destiny and Christy, all they'd have to do, Destiny would have her district that she needs, and then she would just need to do 5 by 5,000 or coordinate it where it all happens in that month. She could immediately go to division. So come September at the next big event, she's crossing the stage 2 promotions, district leader, division, and we got multiple plaques. I've seen it before. I'd nothing more than I would love to see than that because Destiny's a busy damn woman. She's always got, she's busy. She handles a lot in her life. And I want to see that like crazy. I want to see her get paid. I want to see a couple plaques handed out. So that's all I'm thinking about. I was talking to her about it yesterday. Like, I just want to see promotions. But it's weird because that means I give it less of the business. But if I know if there's no promotions, they're not excited, they're not growing, they're not building. And that means it doesn't matter if I get a bigger spread, because she's a 30. I don't want that. I want her to do more business and I'll take less of the compensation. I want her to I want her to be a regional.
Mhm.
Well, really? I want her to be a 70% contract. That means I get a smaller spread, but I know that she's got a team at that point, and that's more important than the spread. It's more important than my piece. I don't get a higher contract from that, but I want more vice presidents. I want Destiny to know she can be a vice president. I want Chrissy to believe it. I want to say Chrissy to look at this and go, you know what? If Michelle Shager can, math teacher to $500,000 a year, Chrissy Rhodes can. And same thing, Destiny. I want everybody. We got to believe, Allison. We got to believe. but it starts with the fast track to district. Does that help?
A whole lot, Gordon.
Thanks,
Yes.
Gordon. Yeah.
Gordon, thank you, because I had no idea that that was the road. Like Alicia was doing that with me, but I did not even understand what was happening. I was like, why the hell am I going on all these darn appointments? Like, can we just slow? I was so over it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how much longer I could like take to do that, but I literally was like, I am not understanding, like, do we have to do this now? And I, just being, because I'm a busy person, and if I don't know, if it was laid out a little bit like clearer, like how you said,
Yes,
maybe I
that's
wouldn't have
right.
felt so overwhelmed, because I did feel overwhelmed, and in the end, like I just was like, I don't really want to do anymore. So I get it.
Yeah,
So
and in the beginning, Fatima, it sounds like your trainer is trying to take the money away from them. Honestly, that's what it sounds like. And most people feel that way, and that is not honest truth. What Gordon said, nothing would make Gordon happier. Seeing Chris Tree going division. I promise this to you. Nothing would make me happy seeing Samuel pass a test going to the next level. Yes, I would earn less money, that is given. But we are in a business to help others. If you grow, I grow. If you grow, I grow. And that's the beauty of it. So what
yeah, no, I
Gordon
just
said
like
is
it was just kind
100%
of like
correct.
I didn't even understand. Like when you first start, you don't
Yeah.
even know what you're getting into. You're like, I don't even know if I really even want to do this, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it was
Yes.
like, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, let me do this, and I'm following all the instructions, but it's a lot of information. It's a lot going on. You're trying to like, even just trying to even get licensed in that short period of time, and it seems so overwhelming. And even when they give you information, you're not retaining as much,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
like,
Ooh.
so she could have even explained it to me, and I probably was like, I don't even know what the hell she's talking about.
Oh, God. You hear it, and by the time you close a Zoom, what did she say?
I heard somebody years ago, and I've used this, and it made sense to me. It was like, look, if you give me 5% of your trust, give me 5%. I'll earn the other 95. I'll do the right things. Does that make sense? Give me
Yeah.
5% of your trust, Fatima. I'll earn the other 95% because I'm ethically, morally going to do the right things. And I want your friends and family to like you continuously and like what you do. I want them to have good experiences. And that's why you want to run as many appointments as you can. Now, I'm not saying everything's going to be perfect and flawless. Life's not. Life gets messy.
Yeah.
But thanks for speaking up. Are you licensed now, Fatima?
No, I've been licensed.
But you just
Yeah, no,
reflecting
I
back.
I didn't understand at the time. I got licensed. I actually got 2 recruits,
Yeah,
and I did probably over 4,000 in premiums during that time. I did a
Great.
lot.
great.
I didn't get promoted because I didn't do three recruits, right?
Got it.
So is that what was missing?
Maybe. Yeah, that could be what it was.
I don't know. So I didn't even understand like what that meant, because even just saying like, okay, you're going to get promoted in 60 days, someone's looking like, how do you get a promotion in 60 days, right? So most people with their jobs, you're still on probation.
Yeah. Not so here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so true, man. So true. And it's like there is a learning curve, no question. The other thing to think about is this. If you're a client, let's say we do something for you, you get one of our products. Eric had a good example the other day. He met with a husband and wife. I don't know if Eric can pipe in here, but ended up protecting both of them. I think they had some IULs, and then they did an auto insurance call. They did the homeowner's insurance. I don't think he knew that until I sent him a message. I said, "Hey, you did an auto," and so we saved him money on the homeowner's insurance. But I forgot where I was going with that. But there was, oh God, where was I going with the field training process and why you want to get out there and do it? Oh,
You can
here's what I was
help
going.
people differently.
Well, yeah, I was going to get to that. Client is a full service client. That client should pay Eric 5 to 10 referrals. That's our referral system that we teach. We should get 5 to 10 referrals per client. And that's another thing. As the trainee working together, your job is not to help a client with those writing those applications. Your job is to help a client, but that client gets you to more clients down the road that you can feel now you can go see. Does that make sense? As the new person. So your job is not to, when you help them, you want to get 5 to 10 referrals. So you can either do it with us, the 5 to 10 referrals. We can run appointments. It's better to run appointments with a client. But you got to look at it like that as you're the new person. Well, I'm just going to be running along with people and I'm going to be introducing my trainer to these good concepts to my family and friends because it makes sense. It's what they need. They need buy term, invest the difference. My whole family had cash value life insurance when I got started. Everybody in my family did. Everybody, because my mom sold the crap. Today, nobody has cash value life insurance that I know of. Everybody has term insurance and everybody invests the difference. Everybody that I know. Now, I know some that I don't know what's going on, like Seattle family. I don't know what they're doing. Australia can't affect them. But the ones that have been here that I've been influencing, buy term, invest the difference. All of them. And my parents were gotten the biggest ripoff. We moved almost 100,000 out of cash value in New York Life that was dad was going to lose, mom was going to lose. And would they move that money into mutual funds? Allison, like your Costco lady, that 100,000 seeded $1 million in retirement money. That's what it did. It seeded them where they've got more than $1 million they don't even touch because of these concepts. So understand, this is not just a small thing. This is a big thing, and it's field training, getting it out in the field quick. So hope that helps today, guys. 10 o'clock. Let's go kick some butt. We got 2 weeks left in the month.
Wine and Wealth next week.
Wine and Wealth. Thank you, Destiny. I was going to ask you what's coming up. Wine and Wealth in Owings Mills, 7 p.m. Not a 7:30 time. It's a 7 p.m. starts. You want to get here at 6:30 in person in Owings Mills. We've got a Super Saturday. When is that, guys? That's coming up in person.
August 6th.
August 6th.
August 9th.
August 9th, Gaithersburg, I think. August 9th. That, by the way, is in person. Everybody gets lunch that shows up. So if you're local, put it in your calendar. Come join us. It starts at 10. It's going to go 10 to 12 and then lunch after in Gaithersburg on August the 9th. In-person events are better than on Zoom, but Zoom is nice because you don't have to leave your home.
Lunch is for everybody?
Lunch is for everybody. You qualify to show up, Denise. So we're going to make lunch for everybody.
Very good.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then we got end of the month is Friday, a week from this Friday. Let's go. Let's get your promotion in the next 2 weeks. Let's get it done. And we still got the t-shirts available, 1x1,000. Get friends, don't let friends retire broke. So we got that extra incentive for the people that are showing up, the people that are doing, if you're field training, Destiny and Chrissy, if you guys are field training and you do the 1x1,000, I'm giving you 2 t-shirts. You both get a t-shirt, both get a ticket to the next event. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Why? Because if you do the right things, the RVP made a little bit of money. They can spend money, and then we have fun. We party. So
That's right.
And then Wednesday night, hey Denise, Wednesday night after,
This was awesome, Gordon.
our team's going to go grab something to eat and drink. So I mean, you guys might want to think about doing a similar type thing. We're going to go break some bread afterwards. Thanks, Carl. Anybody else? Otherwise, Deepak.
Good job, Gordon. You're welcome. Loved it. Thank you so much. Sorry I